You're listening to Lane County Mugshots, Uncensored, the podcast, with your host, Michael Weber.
Hey, I'm live from
and
home.
With him usually is Kevin Brachu.
Heck yeah. We're doing it a little different today, aren't we, Kevin?
Well, just as mixing it up a bit. We'd always thought we'd try to do a podcast remote just to see if we could, and this weekend just turned out to be our opportunity.
Yeah, so, here we are.
Yeah, I think it's working out all right.
Yeah, I'm in downtown Irving, Oregon, and you're in somewhere in Cresswell.
Yeah, somehow it feels a little bit wrong because I usually would look off this way to talk to you, and now
I know. There you are.
Mix it up, but that's all right. So yeah, welcome to the show on this otherwise wet or windy Sunday evening. We kind of mixed it up and did the podcast ahead of a week just so that we could give a break for the Easter off. Plus, we had so many topics, man.
Oh man, just the last week has been huge around here. So much stuff happened.
Well, it seems like you've been pretty busy this weekend because now I understand that you have entered the priesthood of some sort. You're like an ordained minister now. Is that right, Mike?
I'm an ordained minister now. I can perform weddings or maybe be the captain of a ship. I'm not sure exactly what my limitations are yet, but somewhere in there. But yeah, I can perform weddings. Yeah,
I'm going to say now that's really going to round out our services, man, as far as like what we're able to do here in Lane County Mugshots. So when you think of all the things that we could do, it was like, well, but we couldn't perform weddings. So there we go.
Now we can. So, and we've got a discount set up. If we've published one of the two people's mugshot, you get 20% off. If we've published both your mugshots, it's free.
Right on. Hey, so
it's mostly a joke. I mean, nobody really would. None of these people would want me to marry them.
So part of the added value bonus that we try to offer to our customers, whoever they may be.
It's a full service.
Right on. Good to see you, Mike. Whether it is virtual or in person, we should tell the viewers how they might be able to be part of the show. You want to?
Yes, you can call at any time. 541-255-3665. Operators are standing by in another location, and we'll put you on the air if you've got something to say that's relevant to Lane County Mugshots.
Yep.
Not UFOs or politics or
topics
anything. Yeah, and not the Suez Canal being jacked by a boat. That's kind of it's way outside of Lane County or the Pacific Northwest. So,
and in fact,
if you've got something,
go
ahead.
We're willing to add in and make this even worth your price of admission here. So, if you're one of our callers with a bonafide question, we do have these really wonderful Lane County mugshot mugs.
Wow. Yeah. I'm all out of those. You should give me one.
Well, here you go, Mike. I'll just run right over to you right now.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy as pie. Now, if we could somehow hand this stack of mugs through the windows like that, then we've got some magic going on. But
I know, right? Yeah. Here, hand me a 20. No.
You could be not only part of the show, but win one of these excellent collector's item mugs. So, but anyway, while we're waiting for callers,
these mugs, they're not just for coffee anymore. I mean, you could put bourbon in this. You could put milk in it. You could, I don't know, go down Dutch Brothers, get a coffee, pour it in here. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be your pencil jar or whatever. I use mine because I have a few of them myself.
Scissors, pencils.
Mike, with all the topics that we have, let's just get right into it and let people know what we've got going down. So let's go into this. We started with the sex offender list. That's just part of our show, but we get through this as quickly as we can because there are other things that we'd rather be talking about. But so we usually cover a 2-week period between shows. So this is just a 7-day period between last Sunday's show and now. So
it's only been a week, so we can't have but what, 2-3 people maybe?
Yeah, you would like to think that, wouldn't you?
I would like to think that it's been happening a lot. Too much.
Yeah. Well, let's just go ahead and pull these through here real quick here. We do want to talk mostly about the failure to report in the beginning, because as we point out on other shows, these are people that have not necessarily reoffended in some kind of a sex offender kind of way, but they're people that have been picked up for other reasons, and then they wind up being getting failure to report. So like this one here.
Look, it's Jack. Or Levi.
Levi, yeah. So carrying concealed, let's see, there's a possession of a knife on this one, but then the failure to report, possession of a weapon, parole violations, and another felon in possession of a weapon. So, it's bad enough that there was a sex offense, at least at one point in time, but this guy is still out on the streets. So it's really kind of important for folks to know about that.
Yeah, we're always saying, just stay home. I mean, register, stay home, stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
We don't put you up. I mean, it's just,
we're hoping that featuring them on this program might be a deterrent, right? Because we could just sit here and camp on this slide for the next 5 minutes if we wanted to, right?
That would be nice.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, but anyway, moving on, we also have, and this guy's smiling, man. I don't know.
I know, right? Hey,
I'm trying to figure that one out. Yeah,
there, man? I mean, you're way too happy.
Menacing, strangulation, assault, 4th-degree assault, and then failure to report as well. So, Benjamin Joseph Baker, welcome to the show. Michael Anthony, got it? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly, but this is also failure to reports. Nothing else. That's usually, you don't see that. Usually you see they get picked up for some other thing.
Yeah, they get spotted for some reason. And what's interesting on a lot of these, which we kind of don't show, is what time were they? I see some of these where it's like 2:45 in the morning. I'm like, really? I mean,
right.
2:45 in the morning. I'm home.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to be. I have no place to go.
Can't explain it. Don't understand, but there it is. So
that's
also,
it. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mike. I know you would like to be done and move on. Here we've got carrying concealed, possession of knife, criminal mischief 2nd degree, failure to report as a sex offender, and theft 2nd degree, probation violation for Austin Allen Long. So, yeah. That was just here recently on the 23rd. And Daniel Troy Bishop, he's been on our show before, very recently, as a matter of fact. He may have even been in the last episode. So,
yeah, I mean, you think they get picked up for not reporting, they would report.
But at least get that one off the docket so that, because otherwise, that's the thing. People probably wouldn't even notice and wouldn't care as much if they were looking through the mugshots. But when we see this failure to report, you just you become part of the show.
Yeah, that's for sure. You're done. It's over.
Yeah. All right. So then we move on, Mike. So those are just the failure to reports, and then whatever other things they did.
There's more
with them. Yeah. Now we're just going to get into the actual alleged sex crimes, as we're necessarily needing to point out is that these still need to go through court. So,
yes,
yeah, Ronaldo, Fidel Rodriguez, if I'm saying that, 1st-degree sex abuse, basically 2 counts of that for him on the 23rd. Also have Ruben Luna Martinez, several contempt of court charges, but then we also have the sexual penetration 1st degree, 2 counts of sodomy in the 1st degree. So,
and as we've mentioned before, I mean, we're on YouTube, we're on a lot of different things, but we need to really watch what we say as your hosts, because we can't tell you about
saying certain things, do they, Mike?
They don't, and that's great, because I understand why they're doing that, but The thing is, if you do not understand these charges, please look them up. If you type in like sodomy first degree, then put ORS after that, then you will be given by Google opportunity to see what the Oregon revised statute actually says this is about. And like I said, we are not ever, I don't even want to read it anymore, but we're not going to get into exactly what those are. But I'm telling you, if you are curious, because people are, and you need to understand what these people are being charged with. But at any rate, so that's it. We're moving on to a new subject.
We're moving on, yes, Mike, to another the person, James Allen Haynes. So more criminal mischief, first and second degree, harassment, resisting arrest, assault, fourth degree, and then more criminal mischief. But in between all that, online sexual corruption of a child. So.
Yes, Lane County Sheriff's Office had this.
Yeah, do you know any more about this one, Mike?
I do. I'm looking it up as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't do that. It looks like I'm trying to touch people. No,
understood, Mike. It's all right.
It's a whole new thing here. Yeah, I can't just point at the camera. Let me see if I can bring that up, and I'll read you exactly what it says.
Okay.
It appears to be gone at this point. But online sexual corruption, it means that he had made plans to meet an underage, a minor, to have sex with them. And he made progress and steps towards actually doing that.
Right.
But the person on the other end wasn't actually a minor.
Is this the one that happened downtown, Mike? I think.
Yeah, it did. And some of this, some of what's on your screen there is from him being in the back of a patrol car and kicking the crap out of the door and cage area. He was a little combative. So
I remember actually reading the story online too, so I can at least say this has happened, and it happens probably more often than we care to know. But it was right down near the library, so I believe if it was Lincoln and 13th or 11th area, but not too far from our public library, which is scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure, exactly what went on. Seeing if I could find it again, but I'm not seeing it.
Right. Yeah, but basically he did show up. So basically, the appointment was made. He thought he was meeting up with a 15-year-old, and then
he did. He thought he was meeting up with a minor, and that they were gonna.
And then turns out not. It didn't work out for him.
It turns out exactly not. He got arrested, and he.
I think for this guy,
to that.
For him, especially, we're going to give the sad horn man.
I found the article actually.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, it was 10th and Lincoln. So he was online and he made arrangements to see this. What he thought was a minor. He described sexual acts he wanted to commit with the juvenile and saying he would bring methamphetamines with him. When contacted at 10th and Lincoln, Haynes was physically uncooperative, but was ultimately handcuffed by uniformed patrol officers and detectives. He repeatedly kicked at the door of the marked patrol vehicle while in custody, and a flexible restraint device was used to reduce the risk of injury to Haynes, assault on officers, and further damage to the patrol car. At one point, Haynes kicked the patrol car door into a detective, resulting in an additional charge of harassment. Haynes was lodged at the Lane County Jail, and then it gives all of his charges, which we've already seen. So
he wasn't really happy about being taken and arrested, huh? Yeah, it's all fun and games. It's not.
Yeah, this was a great time for him to have right up until he found out this wasn't what he thought it was.
I think it's funny, and I don't mean that it's funny, but just from the stupid criminal type of thing. So it's a lot like the bait bike, right? It's there's that bike.
It is,
it's not even locked up, man. It's just right there, man. I can just and so it's. I think it's amazing that people fall for that, especially knowing that that there are officers that are doing these kind of operations all the time.
Yeah, I mean, this is public. Whenever they do this, they make, the results of it public. You would think that people by now would see this and at the very least quit.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Stop trying to find minors on the internet. I mean, stop trying to find minors, period, for this. But
right. That's just
come on,
not
people.
I mean, happen.
It is so well known, and some people complain, well, it was a sting, it was a setup. We all know they do that. So how is it even a setup? I mean, this happens frequently here in Lane County. So I don't understand why people are, acting like this is brand new stuff. We all know about it. And when it happens, they publish it. And they tell you this was not a 15-year-old. This was a cop. So,
and then we sit here and we camp on this guy's slide for like a good 3-5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he must be the last one. So let's move on. I know we've got a lot of other stories.
All right, Mike. Yeah. So we're moving on to this guy. Sorry. William Paul Humes, I'm going to say he's probably. So as you see, Mike, he's got a load of charges, right? So eight counts of display child sexual conduct. Yeah. But then get this. So that's just the beginning.
Oh, man.
He's got 30 charges of encouraging child sex abuse in the first degree.
William, you have our first 2-page, 2-slide.
Oh, but wait, Mike.
No, there's more. Oh,
because there just wasn't quite.
There we go.
Yeah, the final sex abuse charges were at the very end. So
once again, if you
slides
don't know,
for this guy.
Yeah, once again, if you don't know what that charge is, look it up, read it for yourself. Yeah. They're very detailed, and so that you understand what it is.
You probably don't even want to know, but there's a lot about this. I think that doing the mugshots is fun and games, but there's a lot of sad stuff that comes with the work that happens here. So
this stuff, when you read this and then you think in your mind, I mean, it's not just this guy was charged. We have a victim. There's a victim. There's somebody that was victimized.
Somebody's behind that.
Yeah. There's another. It's not just about William. It is about a victim who will, obviously they keep those names out because there's no reason in the world any of us should know who they are. They have family, they have support. But yeah, there's a victim. Every one of these crimes, there's a victim.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I do have good news. That was the last one to talk about today. But so you would think that and you mentioned that you thought that maybe we wouldn't have as many this week. But how many do you think we had? And the 3 slides for William don't count. So
he's not. He doesn't count as 3. He should. I'm going to go with 5. And 5.
Yeah, you would think it would be that, but. And the answer to that, real quick, is that it was 9. We had 9. Through the jail this weekend. So, and that gives us for the year so far 71.
And what day are we in the year? I mean, I know what day it is.
I usually have that figure, and I don't have it now. We were at 80 last week, so it should be about 87 days into the year, I believe. So,
I mean, we're looking at nearly 1 a day.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at multiple every week. This doesn't it just is happening too much.
Yeah.
But do we have any, it seems like, so this is the end of the offenders, right? Please.
It is. Yeah. We could show at least a couple of the comments that are coming through if you wanted to see those.
That's what I was going to mention.
Well, somebody was happy to see that you've been ordained and had a suggestion for you, Mike. Heather
there we go.
Start a dating service now and called Mugshot Match, and then if they want to get married, they can.
Years ago, I made a fake ad picture, and it was called "Plenty of Felons," making fun of plenty of fish. And I think we're on to something. It's like $1 million.
Let's start the dating game for mugshots.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, thank you, Heather, for the suggestion. We appreciate that.
Yeah, she.
Always glad to have others comment. And if you want to comment, you can do so on Facebook or on YouTube, and then it shows up in our feed. We can make them part of the show. Or you could call in. Tell them, Mike, how they could call in and win a mug.
Well, yeah. Want to hand me another one? No. What I can tell you, though, is that is all you have to do. Take your cell phone, dial 541-255-3665. Please stay on topic. Mugshots, judicial system, no aliens, no, different country problems. And we're not here to talk about politics. Yeah. Oh,
we had a great one last week. I thought was perfect for the show, and it was just basically regarding the follow up to the sex offenders, right? So
we did. Did we send? I believe her name was Bonnie.
Yeah, we need to get in touch with her. We haven't forgotten Bonnie. I just run through my mind a couple of times this week that we need to make sure to get in touch with her.
Yes, so. Bonnie has earned a mug. She actually called with a verifiable question that has to do with what we do. And nothing to do with UFOs. Okay, hand me another one. Are you gonna run out?
Well, it's the question of who's gonna run out first. But here you go, Mike. I'll give you another one right now.
Okay, all right. Grab this thing. There we go. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those, but.
Well, you can give them away. I'll let you do the shipping this time.
So, yeah, you've got a 4. I've got 2 now. So, but yeah, I mean, if you would like to call in, please do. If you have a legitimate question that has to do with Lane County, with mugshots, with crimes, dial 541-255-3665. Operators are standing by. I'm just kidding. It's just Kevin today.
Yeah, let's move on to our next topic while we're waiting for callers, Mike.
Sure. Batman.
So, yeah, there was the rollover crash. You asked me to include this one in the mix. So you know a little bit about this one at all?
I mean, I can just tell you facts about this.
Okay, well, facts are good. We like facts. So
yes.
Hit us with it. Yeah, what do you know?
3 women were in a 4x4 Jeep Cherokee out in the sand roads in Coos County. And somehow or another, while driving around, the Jeep ended up on its rolling over. One of the people got out. There were 2 more people in the vehicle. One of the females is deceased. She was trapped in the vehicle and could not get out. Eventually help came. Some people with ATVs came and helped roll this over while law enforcement was there. I believe this thing must have been on its top because when they were rolling it over, it was dark. Because I believe the accident happened around 6 in the evening, and what we're looking at is the aftermath. We're not looking at the crash with people inside of it. But yeah, there was one person lost their life in this accident.
Yeah, it's very sad.
And all 3 of the women were from Lane County, I believe, out, camping or, having fun, recreating out in the Coos County area.
Right. All right. Are they still looking for information, witness, any of those kind of things? Maybe
they were at the time.
Was that pretty much wrapped up now?
I think they're still investigating, but right now they're just, doing the finite, the paperwork and the small details, so they get this all tucked away and done.
So then we'll probably know more here, probably in some time. It can report back on the progress.
We can, yeah. As soon as there's an update from Coos County,
I know there's limited information. We don't have as much information as maybe we would like in this particular case right now.
We did. We had the name of the woman that lost her life in this crash, but we're just not going to mention it. I don't see much of a point to bring that up. I don't want to bring up the problems to do with it. I mean, it's a tragic loss of life, and I'm sorry for the people who have to mourn her. But, if we get an update on this from Coos County Sheriff's Department or from the district attorney or anybody, we will make sure you guys know what's going on. But as far as we know now,
So what I
rollover
remember,
crash.
Mike, is that this was information that actually we could have shared on last week's show. You knew something about this, but it wasn't very public yet, and so there
I
was a
did.
reason
I
why
knew
we
about.
didn't share it on the show at the time. So, yeah.
We didn't share it on the show last week because it wasn't made public, and people may not know this because all they see is when we do post it. A lot of times when some of these situations happen, we're privileged to a lot of information about it. And we don't release it until we see something like a major news station or, like a police law enforcement bulletin put out a press release. And then we will make that public. And in this case, we knew for a couple days before they actually made the what little details we have public, and we waited till that moment to.
And that's one thing that we pride ourselves on, is that we will never release information, names of victims, that type of thing, until we have been cleared to do so. And as Mike says, a lot of times we sit on that information. We know it because people directly involved contact us and tell us. Sometimes it's amazing the kind of information that comes our way that we can't always share right off the bat. So
yeah, we knew. So last week we knew as much as we've told you right now, and we wouldn't say anything about it. And during our podcast, I kept checking to see if there was in fact a press release on this. If at that time, if last Sunday we had gotten that information, we would have passed that on in our podcast, but we held back.
So yeah, we were prepared in case we were able to, but we were not. So
we like to be accurate. We like to bring you the news as soon as we can, but we are in no rush to be the first people in order to, get it out there. Once it's public, then we get it out there.
Yeah. All right, Mike, 541-255-3665. That's on the ticker at the bottom of your screen there. You can be part of the show. Call and talk to us if you'd like. But in the meantime, we'll move on to our next story, which is out there in Elmira. Kind of a disturbance of sorts. This is on March 25th. Yeah. So right near Horn Road, I believe, in Elmira. But this guy came out, started yelling and screaming, wanted to be let into a place. Wouldn't you have maybe a little to share on that one, Mike? What do you know?
I do, and I can give you kind of exactly what the sheriff's office gave us. They said that the way they make it sound is that Brandon had some type of a altercation in the home that he was in. Shots were fired from at least 2 different weapons that he had. And that after that incident had happened, that Brandon had gone to at least, the wording is tough. So he went to 2 or 3 homes before he ended up kicking the door in of a home. So he went, how about we put it this way? He went and tried to get into at least 1 home before he ended up in the home where he was shot. But he kicked the door down while in possession of a shotgun in one hand or both.
Right.
And the homeowner shot Brandon as he entered the home with a firearm and called the police. And obviously he wasn't fatally shot. We're looking at his mugshot here. It looks like he's got a bandage on his shoulder, maybe. I don't have any information to give away on that, but we can definitely see there's he's got a bandage on his shoulder area, but he was not fatally shot. The homeowner kept him there. They called 911. The sheriff's office showed up. Ambulance showed up. He was taken to Riverbend. And then he was released from Riverbend within a few hours. I mean, this all pretty much happened during one 12-hour period, but it wasn't very long. And then he was placed in the Lane County Jail with, you can go ahead and read us his
right. So he's definitely got 3 menacing charges and then 2 unlawful use of weapon. There's theft and burglary involved in that too. So yeah, I would hope that, there's probably some kind of a mental evaluation involved here. He obviously wasn't doing too well, going through some kind of a crisis.
Let me Real quick here, Kevin, let me check on his current charges, because I believe they
Have
dropped
those been dropped already? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what we have left. We have unlawful use of a weapon, felony. We have burglary, first degree. That's the entering of the home. Burglary doesn't necessarily mean that you're stealing stuff. It means that you're entering a home illegally.
Right.
There's some more to it, but we'll just leave it at that. So he's got the burglary, first degree felony. He has reckless endangering, misdemeanor, another count of reckless endangering, misdemeanor. And finally, he has theft in the first degree felony.
Okay. So it looks like they dropped the menacing charges, but they added another reckless endangering.
Yeah, we're missing, it appears to be, if not more, because I can only look at one screen at a time here at home, but we're missing the third charge and the seventh charge. But I think that my view of them is backwards from what you've got. Yours doesn't start with unlawful weapon.
Yeah, and that does happen. So the programs capture the charges as they appear on the website at that particular time. Yes. And sometimes charges are added, sometimes some are removed. And so this is just a snapshot in time for that.
Yeah, it is our personal little view here when we go to look at it just shows us everything he was charged with. If something's added, it shows. If it's taken away, for us, it doesn't go away. So, and the same goes for our regular mugshots. When we publish them, whatever the charge is that suspect has at the time, that's what gets published. And if the next day they drop some, well, we don't update the website with those. You have to try to follow along with the court system.
Yeah, and that's current status, and we're working on ways to even improve that. So eventually someday that might actually be the case. So
we are, yeah, we've got a lot of things in the works we'd like to have. We'd like you to be able to see this stuff more as it happens than the next day. Oh, yeah. This guy, before we even get into what he did, which anybody watching just knows his face now.
Yeah.
This news made it back east to the Midwest. I don't even know where else.
Yeah.
This story went, as it were, viral, or it went nationwide. I mean, we have a lot of things happen here in Lane County, and most of them just kind of stay here. Maybe Portland and Roseburg hear about it, but it just doesn't go anywhere.
All right.
This one went back east, Midwest. The story was everywhere, and it happened in Springfield, Oregon, at the Winco.
Yeah. This happened at the Winco there. Basically, what happened is that he took, allegedly, this is the case, that he took off his mask and then kissed a 1-year-old child on the lips.
Yes, and we had a lot of people in the group saying, like, how could you let this happen to your child? I don't know if any of you have been shopping lately. I actually had the displeasure of having to go to the grocery store to buy these things, and you're walking up and down the aisles. It's pretty close quarters. I mean, people are just walking by you all the time. It's not like you're out in the middle of a park and you're 40 feet away from people. So somebody headed your direction becomes part of your attention. This grocery store, this woman was literally standing next to her grocery cart, next to some products on the, the shelves. And she turned away. She was right there. She turned away from her cart to grab a product. She didn't wander away. She just turned, looked at the product, and was grabbing it. When she turned back, this was happening. And this happens in a second. This young man bends down, pulls his mask off, and kisses her baby on the lips. And it happened that quick. This isn't.
And then he just vanished. Like, boom, gone.
Yeah, he tried to leave, and he was eventually caught by Springfield police. And do we have his charges here?
I don't have his charges on here.
Let me see if I can find him on my end.
Harassment was one of them, and
disorderly conduct.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and a lot of people are asking, why didn't he get some type of sexual assault or assault? The wording of these, and as I've been trying to mention all week, I am not a lawyer. I can read these laws, but sometimes they get to a point where you have to have that training in order to completely decipher what it means. But from what little I see, none of these really peg down what happened here. And it's just a sticky matter. I'm really hoping that somehow he can get some more charges. This is a very disturbing thing. And from all accounts, this young man is either autistic or has some other mental issues which really need to be looked at. I mean, he's no excuse to what he did. It's unexcusable. But this young man needs all the help that Oregon can give him to keep this from happening again. 100% he needs to be responsible for what he's done, but I don't think just incarcerating him is the answer. He needs help.
That sounds like professional help in some fashion. Yeah.
Two things. He should be responsible for this, and he should get help. So this isn't like it's excusable. This is, I could just not imagine the terror of this happening. I mean, this woman had to be looking, and we have no knowledge of this, but I would assume if it happened with me, I would just be looking it in just complete, like, I can't believe this is happening. What just happened? And once again, it wasn't a lack of parents watching their children. I mean, if you can't understand what happened, you've obviously don't have children, or you've never been shopping, because she had her cart, she turned away to grab something, and this happened. And that's how quickly it happened. There's people passing you while you're shopping the whole time.
Just no time at all, and then boom.
Yeah, I mean, what is she supposed to do? How can you go shopping if you can't look at what you're grabbing? You can't be just, trying to reach off into nowhere and hope you got the cream of wheat.
Nobody can be expected to be like eyes on every single second.
This is no negligence on the part of any of the parents.
I wouldn't think so.
Super quick did it happen. But he was, we got another guy up. Let's go on to this guy.
I accidentally advanced the slide before we were done talking about him.
That's okay. I was talking too much about it.
Visual cue, I guess. So this one's pretty sad. Travis, William Crum in the Junction City area. Actually, Travis is the same age as myself, and for a while I used to live in Junction City, so I remember him from school. I actually do know Travis from back in school. I haven't seen him in years and years and years, but
from all accounts, his family has been in the area for quite a while.
Exactly. Yes, I've definitely seen different. I believe in the Register Guard, you would see one of his relatives would occasionally write letters to the editor. So, well-known family. But aside from that, let's just kind of maybe tell the viewers and listeners what happened. This is kind of a This was completely crazy.
This man, he had a restraining order that, if I'm correct, it covered his mother's house, his mother's property, and he was not allowed to go there. Obviously, there were previous problems. I've heard a lot of chatter on Facebook, but I'm not going to get into any of it because none of it's been completely verified, and there's no point in, I don't know. At any rate, what we've got is Travis went to his mother's residence, and what we know is that sometime after arriving there, he beat his mother's, I believe it's her boyfriend, but another male that was in the home, not Travis's father, but his mother's friend, beat him to death with a hammer and then ran off. Of course, whoever was at the property, his mother, called 911, explained what happened. They showed up in force. We had paramedics. The man was deceased, but Travis was in the wind. And there was a huge manhunt in that area. It's Cheshire. I think it's technically it's Junction City there, but for the most part, it's Cheshire. But they put out a manhunt, and they were looking for him everywhere. At one point, they said that he was driving a gold minivan around, and they lowered the shelter at home thing because they figured he had probably moved on. somewhere other location.
Right. Yeah.
But a few hours that same day, he was found on the side of Highway 36 throwing sticks at passing vehicles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody called it in. The sheriff's office showed up, arrested him without any type of problems, and booked him. And he is currently in the Lane County Jail facing second-degree murder, 1 second-degree murder charge.
Right.
We will keep you updated on this story because this obviously we've got some mental distress on his part. I don't know if the defense will want to try to work on making that part of their strategy or not. I have no idea at all.
Yeah. Very sad situation.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that woman, from what I know, she lost her boyfriend. I mean, there was a death there, and now her son, who obviously there was some trouble between the two, but now he's going to go to prison. I mean, and he's in his 50s. I would have to look up what second-degree murder is, but it's probably around 20 years or more.
Sure.
30. So, I mean, this is like a life sentence no matter what happens. So this woman lost her boyfriend, and basically she's losing her son. But
did they ever find the vehicle in that situation? I know that at one point they were still looking for it, but
I heard they were still looking for it, but I've never seen any update that said that it was found. We don't even know. Technically, we have no idea whose van it was. Was it his mother's? Was it his? Did it belong to the victim? Did he steal it from someone else? Because he only has murder charge right now. So
yeah,
we don't know. We have none of that information, but we will try to keep you updated as this goes. We'll check and see how the case is doing on the portal and make sure you know that, as much as we can find out what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Another sad situation reported is this fatal fall happened in Whiskey Run Beach. You know about that one, Mike? I have some of the information here, but
I do know a little bit about it.
This one, yeah.
I mean, and we will just stick with the facts. A man and wife in their 40s, well into their 40s, were at Whiskey Run Beach, which is a common place for you to be able to drive up and down on the beach with your vehicle if you'd like, if you have proper vehicle. They had a Mercury Mountaineer, which I believe is the same basic platform as a Ford Explorer, and they were driving up and down on the beach. At some point, they both decided that having the wife ride on the roof of the vehicle, that would be a good idea.
Right.
So we know she was up there. She must have got up there. He's driving up and down the beach. We have no idea how he's driving, how fast he's driving, but he's driving with her on top of the vehicle. At some point during this, she loses her grip, is thrown off by the way they're driving, or just plain old falls off and dies from the fall. And a sad situation to be had. I mean, so much I would like to say. I think I would just stick with the top of the vehicle was never meant to have passengers on it.
Yeah. Sometimes
meant to have
I don't know what other factors were involved, and sometimes judgment is impaired in certain situations. But one of our viewers says, good Lord.
Good Lord. Yeah. Hopefully they're talking about this too. I mean, this is just, this is something that should have been preventable at the time. I mean, and what I've heard from other members in the group when we posted this is that, riding on the hood of a vehicle or on the roof or the trunk, depending on the configuration of the vehicle, this particular vehicle has no trunk. But this is a common thing that they have seen down at the beach.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hopefully this information gets back to people and they maybe give that a second thought again. Hopefully, she didn't die in vain. Maybe this can be a warning for others.
Yeah, don't do this. I mean, it sounds like good fun. I mean, and it's probably exhilarating to be on top of the vehicle holding on for your life, but that's exactly what you're doing. You're holding on for your life. I mean, this proves it. I mean, she somehow became dislodged from the top of this vehicle and died. So it's just play safe out there. I mean, I'll bet you money these two didn't go like, hey, one of us ought to die today. I mean, this happened and it's tragic. This man lost his wife. From all accounts, they had been together for a long time.
Right.
Don't put your loved ones up on top of the vehicle. This is dangerous. Even if you live through it 10 times, all it does is take one time to fall off of there and die. At any rate, let's move on.
We did say it was a busy week, Mike, and yesterday was no exception. There's tractor and mower fire over there in 6th Street area of Eugene.
Yes. Yes, this from all accounts, this happened in the storage unit or the storage back area for All Seasons business that, Husqvarna, chainsaws, yard equipment, tractors, they repair and sell. I heard from one of our viewers that somehow or another a telephone or a power pole had fallen down and that started the fire.
I believe that is the case. Yeah, you can even see it in one of the pictures that I've seen there, that there was a pole that was looked like it had fallen.
Yeah. At any rate, this I could see the smoke from my house, and I don't really live close to there.
We even have video, Mike, that I pulled from the site. Here, we'll play this for a second. Our audio will cut out for a second while we do this. Here we go. At least I think it is.
Yeah, and there it is. You can see it. We can both talk.
Good.
Those are some big flames. That's a lot of fire.
Yeah.
But it appears they got it put out. I mean, you're talking with tractors, even lawn tractors and all that equipment all takes gasoline, all has oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of this new stuff is...
All right. We back now?
Oh, yeah, that wasn't my fridge.
That one took our audio away when we were doing that, but I think it played for the folks. So
I thought my fridge came on for a sec, but it was,
what was that?
Background anyway, audio.
We don't have any more information other than that it could be possibly related to a downline that caused that. We'll update you next time when we have more on that one. So, Mike, I'm going to kind of change gears a little bit here. This one comes up now and then, and it's back in topics that we see in Lane County mugshots. How about converter thefts? Yeah,
we do. We see this. I would say at the very least 4 times a week. People are saying, I woke up. Yeah, here's Chris Rhodes. Tweaker got my catalytic converter off my Prius.
Yep. Happens. It used to be more prolific. So like 5 years ago, I would say, maybe around then, but you would hear a lot more of this kind of thing. And then actually there are laws in place. I'm not sure if they're right here in Lake County or Oregon, but that require that the scrap dealers actually make note of who sells them these things. But it sounds to me like they're maybe possibly even sending these out of state to actually.
They may be. And the thing is, they've got a law, I guess they're trying to draw up that would make it so you and I couldn't sell a catalytic converter. I don't necessarily agree with that personally. I think we should be able to sell a catalytic converter. If I have a vehicle and this thing's got a blown motor, it's not worth fixing, and I still have a $70 to $150 scrap catalytic converter underneath this, I should be able to sell it. It's mine. I legally own it. I think they really need to do a lot of different things. These catalytic converters need to be stamped with the VIN number for the vehicle when they're built at the manufacturer.
Well, that would be helpful. Yeah.
And when you buy one over the counter, because They don't last forever. These should have a certified number. At the time you purchase that, you should be able to register yourself right there, like at AutoZone at the computer, and the guy punch your information in, what is going on, what your name is.
Some kind of a tracking mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah. And if these identifying marks are gone, then nobody should be able to sell it or buy it. And I think the problem is, half the problem, the reason these are being stolen is because people will buy them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's easy. There are places and people that will buy these from the thieves, and they don't care. And then they may be a business or not, but then they will take these and sell them to another business.
And put them on somebody else's car, and they would think it was a new one, but it wasn't. Something.
We need to be all over the people that are buying them and restrict that end of it. Not make it impossible. Let's make this so we know, the manufacturers.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that big a deal to stamp a VIN number on there. I mean, vehicles are selling for, 30 to whatever, sky's the limit, thousands of dollars.
Kind of shocked in a way that it was happening with the Prius, because one of the things that I understand is that the thieves tend to go for the ones that are easier to get to. So vehicles that are kind of sitting up high tend to be good targets, because you can just slide under there and grab those, in a couple, I don't know how long it takes, but.
Well, what I can tell you without trying to help any wannabe thieves out there, is that there are tools that will take these off very quickly and very quietly, and you don't really need to have your body completely under the vehicle. So with that said,
they can slide under there and probably grab them.
They're pretty easy to get.
I wouldn't be able to.
There is a silent method for cutting that pipe.
Very interesting.
And it sounds like magic, but it's not. I've been working with cars for, over 40 years.
Yeah. You definitely would know about this type of thing. So
but at any rate, it's not that hard to cut these off. And it doesn't, even at the worst noise, it's not a lot of noise. And people are getting.
I really feel bad for those that have gone through this, though. So because of what Mike has said, you might, if you own one of those types of vehicles that happen to be easy to do, then maybe take even further precautions when you can, right? If you can park in the garage, even better, right?
Yeah, I've seen a few people are making now what they call a catalytic converter cover. It's like a plate that covers the catalytic converter. So even if you cut both ends of it off, you can't get it out. I've seen a couple handmade little cages made where somebody has welded up like some rebar and built like a cage around that thing. So it's even harder to get out.
Yeah. You might spend a few $100 to do that, but if you can save $1,800, as this fellow here says, $1,800 to replace a catalytic.
Yeah, the vast amount of these people that are having them stolen can't just go out to their backyard or go down to AutoZone, buy one and put it in themselves.
Yeah,
so the cost is great for these people. What do we have next, Kevin?
Well, unless you know anything that I don't, sometimes occasionally I'll do the graphics and then maybe something will happen and we'll find. But these two, and especially the child, has been missing. This is from Newport, and just asking folks to be on the lookout. Apparently a silver 2008 Honda Civic with Oregon license plate number 942FEF. So Alyssa is the young girl, is described as being 3 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 63 pounds, and has hazel eyes and strawberry blonde hair. So if you happen to have seen either of these two, really, you would contact Newport Police at 541-265-3100.
I believe this was part of a custody battle, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't know on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Mm-hmm. So much happened this week. I mean, I made sure that this was in the group.
Yeah.
I really didn't have a lot of time to get into this particular one. I mean, we
No,
made
that's
sure
okay.
that,
I put all the information here so that I could read it off because I wasn't sure that you would have it all. So, but we wanted to make sure to get it out there. So I was hoping that maybe you had heard something that maybe she had been found already, and then we could have just skipped past the slide. But
I don't have that yet. I mean, I could quickly look it up, but
it's all right. Well, speaking of missing folks, we just kind of wanted to remind you that there are those that are being actively looked for: Mitchell Edward Young, Judy Ann Parker, Carol Lynn Smith, and Adam Daniel Charles Johns. These are folks that Springfield Police in particular are looking for. You can call 541-726-3714 if you have any information or have seen any of these people.
You bet. Yeah, this is not by any means a full list of people missing. Springfield posts some of the bigger cases every Wednesday. So this is just Springfield's end of it and just some of the bigger cases. There are so many people missing. It's ridiculous and completely unsolved. Like, where did they go? What happened to them? I mean, Judy was
vanished.
Judy's an elderly woman. She didn't just decide she was done dealing with whatever people around here and relocated. She's an elderly woman.
She was out for a walk, if I remember that case. So she's known.
Yes, I believe. That a walk, and no one ever found her again. So many of these cases, every day we see these, and we've covered some of them on our podcast, and it's sad, especially when there's just no closure. The families.
One of these things we'd like to be able to report back and at least say that the case is solved, hopefully in a good and positive way too. But sometimes even if that closure means that particular loved one is no longer with us, at least we know, right? It's that not knowing that really makes it so
they need that closure so they can at least try to move on.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I threw this in here real quick, and I won't take too long on it because we're well into our show, almost 60 minutes already. But I had a neighborhood watch tip to give out. As you know, I do neighborhood watch here in Cresswell when I can. It's a busy job, and it takes a lot of volunteers to get involved and make a neighborhood watch successful. One of the things that I try to do is that every month, there is the opportunity to do what's known as Coffee with a Cop. So in Cresswell here, because we contract through Lane County for our coverage, our local sheriff sergeant came by the park for a couple hours and we got to bend his ear.
Nice.
And so we kind of got into a little bit about that whole thing about what does it mean to light your house at night? What's the most important? And lights on at night. We've kind of put it in the 9 p.m. routine memes for a while now. It's very helpful to have a well-lit home in the evening. It can help deter people. But you know what's even better than just lights themselves?
What's that?
Take a guess. I'm glad you asked, Mike.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's the motion-activated lights. So, we've seen them. They've been around forever, but they've definitely improved over the years. You can even get solar ones that don't even require any electricity. They're much better than the solar devices that we've seen in the past. They usually can charge up and handle an entire evening. But these lights pop on whenever there's motion. And you would think, I'm not scared by a motion light or whatever, but just more often than not all the time, just that light popping on is enough to kind of like we'll move on to the next home.
That guy might or person might change their mind and go like, okay, I'm out, it was dark, now it's light,
it's
moving on.
Amazing how it works when you watch the criminals and you see the videos and stuff like that. But like when they're going through the cars and stuff, it's immediate. They're not jimmying the lock. They're not trying to break in with a coat hanger or anything.
No, they're trying to open the door.
Yeah, if it opens, hey, great. If it doesn't, we move on. So the whole act of just locking the car is enough. And the same thing to go with the lights, right? Just boom, light pops on. Oh crap, I'm gonna move on. So
yeah, most of these videos I see, like there'll be two cars parked in a driveway, and you see the suspect walk up, and he tries to jimmy one door, and it won't open. Goes to the next one, the door pops open. Now he's in, taking whatever he can get for whatever reason. But yeah, it's more than not. I mean, glass breaks the way it always has since they invented it. I mean, you got a rock, you smash a window, but these people are trying to make the least amount of noise and spend the least amount of time. And if your door opens, they're in your car. If it's locked, most of the time they walk away, and we're watching these videos.
Yeah. So those bits of advice on just locking up and turning on your lights are great. And just add in the extra thing of a motion sensor light. They're really very inexpensive right now. The low power, they run off of LEDs that basically are as bright as the sun, so. Yeah,
retina burning. And they're only on for whatever. I think they run for, well, you can set them, but like a minute or less.
Exactly, yeah.
And then they go off.
Yep.
So
now at my place, you've got all kinds of stuff. I've got timers and stuff, turning lights on and off all day and night. It's Hey, Mike, check this out. We had a cocaine bust down at Central Point.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it far from me to give advice to criminals, but I've been watching this for a few years. I am in my 50s. Are you kidding me? These people get caught for the dumbest reasons.
Yeah, how this guy got caught?
How did he get caught?
He was just tailgating somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard, it didn't change lanes without using a signal. I'm like, dude, you've got 65 pounds of cocaine hidden in your vehicle, and you're going to change lanes without a signal?
You did the same thing. You cracked me up because that's exactly what happens. It's like, so they've got all this cocaine stashed in the door, innards of the doors of this car, right? It's a brand new car. All you have to do, you had one job, is just drive from point A to point B. But no,
and we're certainly not promoting the cocaine, movement industry here, but we are saying, oh my goodness. But then again, I mean, so here's an interesting thing I found, Kevin. So at one point I lost this story and I was trying to find it again. I forgot where I saw it.
Okay.
So I remembered it was 65 pounds and it was, a bust. So I put in,
where this is going already.
Yeah, I put in 65 pounds cocaine seized. And suddenly I'm looking at stories clear back to 2016. 65 pounds, 65 pounds, 65 pounds. I'm like,
really interesting.
Why is this number? I mean,
must be some cosmic thing in the universe, right?
Well, I came down to one theory that makes more sense. Kind of like Occam's razor. The easiest thing is, I mean, are you kidding? 50 drug dealers aren't going, well, the cartel sets a limit. We can only give you 65 pounds. Look right here.
Up into a door. What is the magic number? Is it the charges?
I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't think it's the charges because I think it's 65 pounds. You're pretty much done.
Yeah, right. Oh, but, it's the 66-pound really kicked it over the edge.
Yeah, I had to throw something at the dog. It was getting out of hand. Because I'm at home. But no, the one thought I had was, why would they all be 65 pounds? And the thing that came to me that may not even be right, this is just an arbitrary guess, is what if all that was coming from the same basic place?
Oh.
So then, let's say it's me.
They distribute it in those chunks for some reason.
Yeah, and I'm like, they're like, hey, we want to buy 200 pounds of cocaine. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. I will.
Wow.
You can buy 65. That's my limit. I'm not playing around. And because there's no magic involved with the number. This isn't like, this is a lucky number. But yeah, there are so many cases. So if you just get on your Google and you Google 65 pounds cocaine seized, what you'll find is that there are a lot of stories with that amount.
So the next coffee with the cop, I'm going to ask our sergeant about that, see what he says. Or maybe you can ask one of your contacts within law enforcement. There's got to be something to that, right?
There must. I mean, it works out to be close to 30 kilos. Because what's a kilo? Like 2.2 pounds or something. Because I think what they actually got packaged came out to 65.4 pounds. So some of that's the packaging. I don't think there's any magic involved, but I do think the one thing that struck me was like, that's the max, you know. You want to buy some Coke from me and go drive it up the freeway, you could buy 65 pounds. You're done. But I mean, I think
maybe it was like 88 miles an hour. Maybe it's something to 65 pounds of
Coke.
Well,
yeah, but then you wouldn't have to drive. You could just go into the future. You know, as long as you had a DeLorean, you could put as much cocaine in the thing as you wanted. And I think that last one would have run on cocaine. Probably you could have just
probably.
But yeah, and before we get done, Kevin, I did want to mention one topic we hadn't discussed, and it just hit me. We've had spring break, so there's a lot of things going on. Not to bring up COVID, but we've been going through this. Schools have been distanced, children at home doing Zoom meetings and studying. We're going back to some children being at school again. So we have school buses in neighborhoods picking up children. We have schools with children in them again. And I have personally noticed that some of the perfect. Wow, it's like you read my mind.
It's like I read your mind. Yeah, I actually did add this slide.
Yeah. So a lot of these where you see this one says children ahead, like a crossing, are a flashing warning to go 20 miles an hour in a school zone. Some of these have not been turned back on yet. Because the funny thing is, I mean, humorous.
Turn all the lights off. Yeah, because nobody was crossing.
Yeah. So when this first happened and they shut down the schools, what was interesting was that some of these flashy signs still came on every day, and there was nobody there. But now we've got the opposite thing that's happening in some circumstances, is that although school has started again, that sign's not going. And pretty much what I would say at this point is if you are in a school zone where you see that sign that says 20 miles an hour and it's not 10 o'clock at night, whatever, it's what school hours would be, slow it down. Let's get down to 20. We need to get back to this again.
Yeah, I do have a feeling that we may wind up seeing, maybe a few things in the first week or so back to school that,
Yeah, I mean, we have to mention COVID, but I'm not trying to get into that. My point is,
I understand.
Some children are going back to school, and we as drivers, regardless of COVID and what you think and all that, we need to slow down by these schools because this is happening again, and this is the children's safety involved. It's just, please do 20 miles an hour in front of schools till we get this completely all straightened out, because children are going back. Not all of them, but some. 20 miles an hour, folks.
And some schools will also have new rules. So if you're a parent that are dropping your kid off for school, there's been extra efforts made in trying to make it easier for parents to drop kids off without creating backlogs and stuff. I know that at least specifically here in Cresswell, but I'm sure that's in other places as well. So
yeah, we've got a lot of new protocols coming up because it's just complicated times.
I would say that maybe the biggest piece of advice that we could give right now is that if you're one of those folks that tends to leave late and for work and show up at the very last second, maybe bump your schedule up a little bit and leave the house a little earlier instead of trying to mow through the kids and the parents and stuff that are trying to get to school. So
true. I found myself, we were driving in front of Cascade Elementary, and it appeared like there were children there, and including me, because I kind of became aware of it again as I'm driving by and I see children and I see vehicles, and I was like, wow, we need to slow down. I mean, this
Yeah.
me too. Everybody that was in that line, not that I'm trying to defend myself. First person to tell you we were doing 30, 35 miles an hour, which is the speed zone, which is correct when there's no school.
Right.
But and the flashy light wasn't on. And this isn't about, oh wow, well, the flashy light wasn't on, so I ain't gonna get in trouble. No, this is about safety. I don't care if you see that flashy light. Slow down. Children's lives are at stake.
Right. The signs are there. The lights are just to help kind of add emphasis.
Yeah, and we've been through a crazy time. I don't care how you believe it or not believe it, but we've been through a crazy time. Yeah. And now we're putting children back to school, and these, particularly the flashing signs, may not be back up again on their scheduled times. So please just pretend it's blinking when you go by. And I forget what the hours are typically on those. There's something like 7 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's a safe guess right there.
But just start using these. I don't care if you see anybody at the school. Just start slowing down, because we're all going to go back to normal at some point, or partial normal, or whatever. Once again, not getting into that. This is about safety. Schools are getting children. I can't even say what I wanted to say. Slow the F down. Thank you.
There you go. So, Mike, I brought this slide up here because this one interested me. The scams and the way that people perform their scams is amazing to me. This was somebody that was doing the whole porch pirate thing. But you see what's in the guy's hand there?
It looks like a bag, grocery bag.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Try to blow this up, but
yeah, it's one of those Dine Dash or whatever places, the food delivery. I can't remember.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, it looks like he's delivering food.
Yeah, and so the deal is that's the scam, and the camera picked it all up. So anybody that was looking might go, "Oh, yeah, he's just there delivering food, so he's legitimate," and he's just there to take your stuff. So.
Well, he at least started out either being one of those DoorDash people, or there's a DoorDash person going like, where in the heck is my bag?
Yeah, somebody's pissed.
That may have been his first theft right there, was that bag. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we are wrapping up some topics here. I just wanted to mention the lost and found like we usually do, because there's, and see, I updated the graphic just for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I even wanted to make a point there, and I listed the URL. We'll probably create a short URL for that someday and make it easier for folks. But you don't have to be a Facebook member even to go and see this. This URL works even if you aren't on Facebook. And so you can go and read the group and see. So, for instance, there's this fellow right here. Lost near Taney and Royal. His name is Apollo. Yeah, he's a cute kitty. Apollo has not been home since Monday, the 22nd. He's a black, sleek kitten with a fluffy tail. Has a sister kitten that is bonded with him and who has been calling out for him. So, and not only, check this out, Mike, we even have, here's a little bit video.
Oh, wow.
That was real quick. It was a short video. There it is again.
It's almost like a GIF. It's so or a GIF.
Yep.
It's so small, but
there he is.
I mean, and that's the sole purpose of that group, is to reunite people with pets, farm animals, and items. That's all that group is about.
So if you live in that area of West Eugene, Taney and Royal, and may have seen this black kitty rolling around, you can just hit that URL. That just go to Google and type it in if you need to, Lane County mugshots lost and found, and you'll get there. And the sellers, or not the seller, the owner's information will be there. So also had to mention this fellow found in the Big Fall Creek area. The male dog says, "Do you know me? I was found 32521 on Big Fall Creek Road near milepost 4. If you recognize this pet or are the owner, please call 541-689-1503. So
hopefully they're reunited soon.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mike, I think that it would be a good time, maybe before we end the show, to do What's in Mike's Hand?
Well, a little short shot of bullet bourbon.
We forgot, but we didn't.
Bullet bourbon.
Yeah.
Frontier whiskey. It's pretty
That's the
good.
stuff, right?
I don't mind it. It's good to sip on a little bit of it.
Not bad.
Had this bottle laying around for a few weeks. So.
Well, Mike, we're getting pretty close to the show. Let's end of the show. We'll tell people a little bit more about Lane County Mugshots and how they can find us here. So here's where all the magic happens on our website. You can see all kinds of things besides mugshots. We have CAD calls for fire, police, and EMS. We also have traffic cams. We're going to add some more here real soon. All kinds of things. And also
swag.
Yeah,
can't say it. Put one on there.
Hoodies and mugs, if I could say that properly. All available right here. And then ways to listen to us.
Yep.
Listen on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or our very own Eugene Talk Radio.
Yep.
We'd also like to encourage you that we are also on Facebook, of course, but then also YouTube, where we would love to have you subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Go there and click it.
Yeah. All right. That takes us to the end of the show. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you here in 2 weeks from tonight.
Yes, we got Easter coming up, so that's why we did a show today.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later, folks.
It's our closing music now. There we go. What are we talking about today at our closing music?
I don't know, Mike. We could